Hi, and welcome to Unsolvable. So, I do meditation work, and I do also do channel work. I think those are two, one of the same. Um, I believe that life, the mind aspect of life, is simply a trance, and I believe that we live in a human construct world. And what does that mean? That means a various amounts of different things, but most importantly is that we created things physically, mentally, and emotionally, all by ourselves, through lifetimes of generations and lifetimes of lifetimes. We have developed all of these things. Now, of course, it's kind of easy to say, like, well, we didn't really create all of that stuff. Yeah, we did. It's easy to compare it to physical objects because, the 3D world, it's way more dense than the other aspects of our lives. So, the 3D world is pretty much everything outside of your skin, right? Everything outside of the sense of touch. So, whatever you touch is 3D. Anything that you can see is 3D. A phone is 3D. A wrapper is a 3D. This lamp is 3D. My body is 3D. And anything that is outside of your skin that you can actually grasp is 3D. So we created all of this in my life. In my life, the way I see it is that we have created all of these constructs of, the way we think, the words that we use. And the cool part is we have such a great foundation that we have created different languages that potentially can say the exact same thing but in a different version. I think that's really cool. I think that language is something that we developed over time. I think that's really something that has came. So anyways, long story short is I work through meditation and channeling. I am a psychic. My psychic ability is just gaining insight. So I can look and see for potential possibilities, potential outcomes, and things like that for individual or for a collective or just a certain group, with intention, of course. With that being said, practice makes progression, and I like to progress. Some people like to work out their bodies. I really like to work out my mind, and doing readings is something that helps me keep my mind in shape. I had an insightful invitation to explore the thoughts of being able to teach children while they're in the womb, that we can educate our children. All the moms out there, this is pretty much a video for you, that you are special because you are going to be the infant's first teacher, and you can teach everything that you are going through to your child, regardless if it feels like it makes sense because they can't correlate. Like, don't underestimate the power of children. Children are very strong manifestors. They are very strong individuals when it comes to the 4D and 5D. They have a creative mind and they're magical. Manifesting doesn't just start and stop. Manifesting is always happening, even through manifestation. You manifest as through manifestation. And I'm not saying that like you're trying to manifest a car and you're like, oh, I wish a car would just jump into my pocket, or show up on my driveway and then magically poof. No. What I'm talking about is that you have a mirror within you, and if it's reachable, depending on how many steps you would have to take, you can manifest achieving and picking up that car. What I mean is you're telling your mind to pick up on signs that will lead you to this direction. The mind is a map, okay? It only travels through thoughts. So what you tell yourself is going to be repetitive. And what I mean by that is that most people don't switch up their vocabulary just because the mind, memory, it's going to use what it already knows. You can transform what you already know, but that takes conscious effort. You have to consciously effort, and then you have to memorize that. Uh, but once you do learn new words, you can, you know what I'm saying? Like, once you figure out new ways of approaching life and you practice those new ways consciously, then you can develop those things subconsciously, and you can do it without trying to learn it because you know it and you're using it. And when you use it, it's a lot easier than learning it before you use it, or using it before you even learned it. So, and that's also another thing, that's what I mean about that we are in a trance, is literally we have a collective trance, we have minor trances, we have major trances, we have trances that we share with one another, we have relationships. So I'm really all about the mind. I really like to talk about the mind. That's why I think spirituality isn't really something so serious to me. I mean, it is serious to me because I really enjoy the concepts and things like that. But in the end of the day, I'm just me, and there is no like thing that's going to create me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if I believe in good, or if I believe in the best, or if I study this extra hard. Like, when it comes to the mind is the God. God is the mind, and that is how you find him, or her, or them, or they. I think you get the point. No matter what religion you work with, is you have to be able to be with the mind, and that's how you access a higher power. So, for all my younglings out there, be nice to your parents, be nice to your mom, be nice to, you know, to yourself. And if you are struggling, then just know that you are not alone, and it's not your fault. It's literally the point of period of time that we live in, where we are not in the hardest times of life, but we are in a challenging times of life for some of us, including myself, and some close friends. Like, trying to live on your own is doable, but it takes so much strength, especially if you don't have a support system or a support team. And nowadays, it is kind of hard to have a support team and support systems because a lot of us are lone wolves. A lot of us live on our own by ourselves due to, you know, some type of emotional pain that we felt when we were in a group, when we were in packs, when we were in tribes, when we were in family, and then we kind of ventured off into our own path. And I think we kind of have our own way of living now, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I think that's all for my channel and meditation messages now. So I'll pull some cards. Alright, so the first card I'm going to pull is the theme of the reading. Hopefully it can relate to what I discussed. If not, that's fine. I mean, I'm sure it could relate to it. Alright, so the first card I have is Three of Wands. In the love aspect, it talks about commitment, engagement, and celebration. And then on the career aspect or money aspect, it says efforts bear fruits, others help. Alright. Alright, can I get some messages clarifying this message? What do we have to say for people? We'll get one on the love and one on the love and one in the money. Alright, love, money, secret question. Alright, so for the love, it looks like the Ten of Cups. So this says a loving, joyful relationship. Some of you may be reconnecting with some loved ones. You guys may also feel like you accomplished something that's that's fulfilling. So what this could mean is that you might be projecting. There might be a group of people who is ready to re-collaborate with relationship and with love, and it doesn't necessarily has to be, again, sex. Like, I really am big on that. As a sex addict myself, I want to let you know that sex is not love, but you have love with sex. So what I'm trying to say is, just because someone has sex with you doesn't mean that they love you, and doesn't mean that you need to love them. You don't need to love anybody that is giving you physical pleasures. You don't owe them anything. You know, your body is sacred because it's yours. You have to go to sleep with your body. You have to wake up with your body. You know, in the between time of the awake and asleep state, you're in dreamland. That's all you. That whole reality is your perception. It's your conception. And you will wake up with you. If you don't like yourself when you go to sleep, you're not gonna like yourself when you wake up. Now, if you want to make a change for yourself, you gotta have to start within, of course, and you have to figure out what parts of it that you want to change. And for that, I use a chart that is called Good, Keep, Bad, Transform. Now you have these practical goals that you want to go ahead and accomplish, which now, to get from the good to the bad, we have to have a bridge, and then we can create a bridge, you know, and focus at one at a time and bring that to the good side. And the cool part is you can keep these and see along your life, along the journey, every year you can see where you came, keep track with yourself. You can do it every birth year, every New Year's, it doesn't really matter, but pretty much you can always keep your life progress with you and be proud of it, essentially. Even if you only got one thing, it's like at least you're putting in the effort to try, and I think that's what counts. All right, so yeah, so also I think you're trying to make yourself a better person in general for your family. It can be your family, it can be your loved one, it can be a significant other, but I see that you want to be a better person for your family, and I think that's what the celebration is about. So toodles to you, whatever you're working on. I feel like you're coming through a breakthrough, because after the breaking points come breakthroughs. All right, now we got the Hierophant in the money sector. And what this talks about is traditional thinking about relationships, traditional ideas and cultures and corporation. So in your career aspect, in the money aspect, the energy that I'm picking up is that you're going to take a more traditional route in how you want to get things done. So you might be wanting to do salary, you might want to do hourly, you might want to do something that is traditional to you. So, you know, becoming a doctor, I think that's very a traditional route. Becoming a lawyer, becoming a counselor, becoming a scientist, you know, something less creative and more configured. So I don't think it's going to be something that you just kind of outrightiously just invent or create or use your skill and talent for the money in your life. I think you're going to follow a path that's already created for you, and you just have to show up and you have to be there and you have to put in work. So that's what I'm getting here. And then as a side message, I have the Devil card, which talks about addiction, talks about, this is kind of a special question. It says there might be some obsessiveness going on, there might be some harmful situations going on in your love life. In the money aspect, you might be attached to social and materialistic status, so you might be paying attention to your likes, you might be paying attention to your comments, you might be paying attention to your shares, you might be paying attention to your home, your rent, You might be taking, like, you're just taking things in, and it's telling me that that's how you cage yourself. Don't do that. Like, that's obvious for me to say don't do that, but what I want to say is put that on your list to transform. All right, make sure you name some of your obsessions. And this is what I like about this, is that writing does not judge you. You don't have to share this with anyone. You can keep this for yourself and literally be open with yourself, and that's going to cause some healing and some interruption. And at first it might even be some discomfort, but in the end of the day, that is what you have to go through for you to process this. You have to face yourself. And if you feel a deep emotion that might not be accepted by others, at least you should accept yourself, because that's something you can't run away from. You're always going to be with you. Namaste. Peace out.